Hey everybody, my name's Chris, and I'm a bookaholic. Today's a big day, an exciting day for me. I got my very first tag by another booktuber, so I get the chance to kind of toot my own little horn. That sounds weird. What I want to do is just kind of dive right in. I have so many books that I want to talk about, but thank you, Andrew, over at Andrew's Wizardly Reads, who basically called me out and invited me to be a part of this book tag. So I'm pretty pumped. And I got my computer open with all the prompts here. There's 10 of them, or 9, actually. But I have a lot of books. I mean, I could probably put so many books per prompt, maybe 10, 20 books. And you're thinking, Chris, are you exaggerating? And the answer is no. I mean, actually, I could do 1,000 books per prompt. No, I couldn't. I do not have 90,000 books in this house. No. There's 9 prompts times 1,000. 9,000. I could do 1,000 books per prompt. Math. Okay, so here we go. First question. Break the ice. Show a few of your personal favorite book covers. This is a problem. There's too many of them. Way too many of them. But I'm going to show you a couple. And part of the problem is that, for me, book covers oftentimes are so connected to the experience of reading the book. And so while some of the book covers are like striking and amazing, exceptionally so, and others are pretty horrible, the truth is even the not great book covers sometimes can stir a warm feeling within me, a little warm fuzzy. Used and Rare by Lawrence and Nancy Goldstone, and I really love this book. A couple goes on a little journey trying to figure out and find books in the rare and used world. I loved this book partly because, as a book addict, I mean, this is kind of my thing. I finished this in 1999, actually, and I just found that these kind of books are super cool for me. And so any book that looks like it's kind of got, I don't know, the binding of an old book on it. Like, here's an example of that. I right away am drawn to. And so this is actually a really nice copy. The Bookseller of Florence by Ross King. I really like this one as well. Here's a couple others kind of fit in that mold. You can see on the spine there, it has that old book vibe. Nicholas Basbane's Among the Gently Mad. And then, of course, John Dunning, who's a favorite of mine, and I've loved this. This is a signed copy of The Bookman's Promise, and John Dunning, he writes this Cliff Janeway mystery series. And again, partly I just love the way they look. And so immediately, just by the cover alone, I'm all in because it's kind of books about books or in the world of books. That's one just immediate awesome thing for me. But other kind of covers that really resonate with me is, here's a book called The Lighthouse. This is one of my favorite books that I read about a year or two ago by Michael D. O'Brien. And he does his own icons. So I just find these to be so beautiful, and just kind of the black with that icon there. It's a fitting picture. It's fantastic. The story is, and I love it. So that's prompt number 1. And there's so many more, but we'll see what we can come up with to break the ice here, right? Show a few of your personal favorites. So there's a few. That's number 1. Number 2, what's the absolute best book cover that you own? And yeah, again, that's a problem. The best book cover I own, I don't know. I mean, honestly, let me just show you a couple. Like, I love this book cover. Love it. I love this book cover. I love it. I love it. And I actually really love this book cover. So, like, there's so many things about these book covers that I love. But maybe the absolute best, and I know that Andrew kind of picked this one, so I think it's okay because I have some other books that I'm going to show that are a little bit different here. But I do think there's something pretty stunning and exceptional about this book cover, because not just the book cover is fantastic, but the naked hardcover and the way this is put together. Now, when I get to that point of showing a couple other of the books that I have in my collection, obviously those could fit too as well in this prompt or that prompt. Here's a prompt, there's a prompt, everywhere a prompt. Who gonna run that? Okay, again, just come back. Come back. So, absolute best cover you own. There's no, okay, here's the thing. Some of these kind of almost like absolutes, there's no flipping away. Any bookaholic, book lover knows that you can't just pick one, right? I mean, I think that's unfair. Sometimes I wonder, did the person who made this list, did they like books? Maybe the question could be, what is the absolute best book covers that you have within reaching distance? Okay, here we go. Number 3. What is the absolute worst book cover you own? Okay, I have a lot, unfortunately. But, hi. Okay, here's one. And see, here's the problem is that actually, it's A Light by Scott Sigler. This book might actually be awesome. I just don't think the cover does anything for it. In fact, there's nothing about this that makes me say, hey, I want this. Like, is this hot here? Is that why it's red? Or is that blood? Or is it rust? I don't know. I'm not even 100% sure that this is, maybe this is a YA book, but it's a ripping claustrophobic thunderbolt of a novel. That's Pierce Brown, so hey, it probably is awesome. I just think they could have done maybe a little bit better on the cover. And forgive me for whoever the cover artist is. That's not a slight. It just doesn't work for me. It might work for a ton of people, so that's awesome. Here's another one that doesn't really work for me, but it probably does for a lot of other people. Celestial Matters here by Richard Garfinkel. I know nothing about it, but I'm not sure that this cover really is drawing me in. And this is just for me. It's not working for me. And then honestly, at first glance, this kind of seems like it might work. The Stone and the Flute by Hans Beeman. But it's not. You know what the truth is that this is just kind of almost like it doesn't look fully finished. It kind of, I don't know. It's a little bit ambiguous. The clarity is here in the font and the color here, and then this stuff is almost just kind of like a little bit more bland. And I think that's kind of happening for me when I look at it. I'm like, I don't know if that's going to be for me. I mean, the book might actually be amazing, but just at first glance, the cover's not working for me. So, absolute worst book covers. That's a few, and I don't know again if I would use the word worst. It just is. They're not working for me. How about this number 4? Show the coolest cover that you have that features a weapon. Okay, I got 2 here that I'm going to show you. And honestly, any book by John Gwynne is going to have a badass weapon. Now, here's an example of kind of what I was saying is that, that image here that we saw of this, the battle axe, or I'm not really a professional when it comes to weapons that kill people, so I don't know what you would call that, but it's sharp. I just think, there's so much detail that's going on around this whole cover anyways. It's kind of doing that cool little wrap around, and then you got your little your little hatchet on the side. It's all uniformed with the other volumes as well. But this is so distinct. I mean, you can see it's exceptionally sharp, and then there's kind of clarity even with the handle. I don't know. So obviously the budget might be different. So I mean, obviously Orbit, but as I look at this, Del Rey has put out the other one, so that's not like some small potato budget. Here's the other one, and I'm just gonna say, yeah, I know maybe the emphasis is not maybe on the actual sword, but I guess what I'm going to say is that it could be argued that maybe Hadrian Marlowe is a weapon. And this is still in the plastic because I'm not going to take it out. This is signed and it's a hardcover first edition, and I mean, I don't even want my grubby paws all over it. That's what I'm saying, but I love it. That actually could be on the last prompt. I might bring it back. All right, so number 4 is done. Show the coolest cover that you have featuring a weapon. Number 5, show the most unique book cover you have. Well, I don't know. This is a very unique book cover to me. Tad Williams. It's kind of part of the Otherland River of Blue Fire. This is just quite unique. I love the blues on it, and this whole series, the covers are pretty remarkable, pretty beautiful and unique. I think they're very unique in the, kind of in the comparative, arena of books that are similar. Here's another one. And again, I think I could put this in my special edition. Maybe I should wait. But I already kind of showed it. But this is a very unique cover. And this is a, kind of the 10th anniversary edition for The Name of the Wind. And I have a hard time sometimes even talking about Rothfuss, partly because of all of the weird crap that went on with the whole fundraising thing. And then the reality that he can't seem to finish it. And, whatever. He's the author. He can do whatever he wants, I guess. But this is one weird cover. I mean, in a way, it's very unique. So, yeah. Okay. Let's see, number 6. Do judge a book by its cover. What's a book that totally lived up to how good the cover was? So, okay, what does that mean here? Where did I put that? Oh, I know. So I got 2 books by Stephen King on this. I could have picked a whole truckload of books by Stephen King. But I actually love the cover on this one with the lightning bolt. And there's so much that kind of connects within the story about this whole idea of electricity and, power. And boy, oh boy, I love the way this book feels. The cover of it is fantastic and super shiny, of course, here. But yada, yada. And then, of course, I think just because of all that's connected with this, but this cover, this hardback edition is spot on. I almost put this up for the one with the weapon on the cover because you can see like a little Pennywise's creepy freaking fingers coming up. Ultimately, at the end of the day, most Stephen King book covers to me are kind of interest. They might not be the most exciting and adventurous and amazing, but I'm super interested in it. And, yeah, because the story is awesome. Let's see what else. Number 7, a book you bought blind simply because the cover was captivating. Okay, pretty much all of them. Not all of them, but, tons. Here's a cool little, almost like medieval mystery series. I love these covers. Edward Marston, and I think this is the Doomsday series. Yeah, the Doomsday books. I don't know. There might be around 11 or 12. I can't exactly recall. I don't know. But I saw these covers. I think they're all first editions. And I just kind of fell in love with them. So I got them. And the more research I've done, the more I thought, you know what? This is actually kind of my stuff. Also, here's a couple others that I got based on the cover. Now, this is a little hard because I'm actually familiar enough with Alexander McCall Smith's work. He does the #1 Ladies Detective Agency and tons of other books for that matter. But here's a couple really kind of cool. Look at that rainbow and the ox there, or steer, or some weird animal. I don't know. I love it. The colors of let's go with cattle. Again, I just like the way these look and the way they feel. They're kind of, I don't know, they are fitting for the whole series anyways. If you've never read that series, it's basically kind of awesome because they're just super simple mysteries, and you don't have to have some huge, insane trigger warnings in the front of the books. They're kind of old school mysteries that are pretty enjoyable. Okay, so probably for the cover, right? He's known for the Witcher series. This is the other one. I could have probably even used this for the one with the weapon on the front, because honestly, that's pretty bad to the bone. And then this one, I just love the cover on this. So yeah. But blind, yeah, I mean, there's tons of them. So, I had another one over here I was going to show you. I've never read anything by this author, but Walter Tevis, he wrote the Queen's Gambit, and these are some pretty known works. The cover alone was appealing to me. There was some really interesting things going on in these covers. Has that matted finish. I really like them. So, yeah. At this point, the truth is, though, it's hard for me to find a lot of books that I've not heard something about, because that's kind of pretty much all I do is look at books, even when I'm supposed to be working. Okay, so, embarrassing book cover that show a book that was great, but the cover is so cringe. I'm only going to say that the cover is cringe because it could easily qualify for, maybe worst book covers. It's just not appealing. So it's super, to me, it's just like, what is this? And this is Beneath the Scarlet Sky. I actually think the cover is super lame compared to what it could be. Should be. And the tragedy is that I loved this book. Now, I know some people may not have loved it because it's not the most elegantly written, book, but it kind of is just a historical novel for World War II and the Italian Resistance, and I just freaking loved it. So yeah. All right, and then last but not least, show off your special editions and fancy books. So I've showed you a couple already. Here's a couple more that I really like. So this is a first edition Mario Puzo Fool's Die, and I love this book cover. But I don't know if this is necessarily worth anything, but to me, I just love the simplicity of it. There's something about this, especially with kind of the image of the man, the mafia boss of sorts, walking away. I think that's pretty cool. Special editions. This is not, although there's 8 million special editions for Babel by R.F. Kuang, this is not necessarily a special edition, but I really do like it. Okay, why am I showing you these then if they're not? Oh, here they are. That's why. Okay, don't panic. So these are just a few of a ton, really. This is kind of cool. This is a signed first edition from Clifford Bauer, The Changing Tides. This is really kind of weird looking. It has a little bit of almost like an Asian motif going on. It's hard to see that stupid light. But it really is pretty cool. Jackie, may your adventures be magical. Thank you. Thank you, Clifford. Yeah, so anyway, that's one. It's cool. It's a nice... I got the Lumicrate for the book eaters. This is a pretty nice book. It's signed and it's, it's of course, it's well done, obviously. That naked hardcover is pretty cool. So that's one. Actually, that's two. Here was one of the other Illumicrates was the Whispering Dark, and just again, some of this care and detail in putting together these books, I really love and appreciate that. I don't think I'm going to do this too much longer with Illumicrate, but yeah, so far, pretty stunning artwork and jackets, and it's pretty cool. Now, because whatever. I got the special edition at Barnes & Noble for Dune. I really like this with the sprayed edges. And then last but not least, I had found this right when it came out. It was a signed first edition by J. Christoph, Empire of the Vampire. And this, again, is pretty flippin' amazing. And I'm happy I got it. I know that they're coming out with more special editions. The pictures in here are fantastic, and so I'm a big fan. At the end of the day, when I look at book covers, there's so much that I like, and over the years I've noticed there's a lot of trends. So you'll have a lot of book covers that come out that are very similar one after the other, and right now, there's a big kind of movement with like mysteries and almost like kind of settings of libraries or the librarian in Paris and yada yada. And a lot of those covers start kind of looking, very similar. And, but just some of these are like, I just love the way, the simplicity of some of these covers. There's something about them. They are similar in a lot of ways, but I like it. All right, so long and the short of it is I could do this forever, but I should probably wrap this up. Thanks, Andrew. I really appreciate it. Again, this was my first tag. I probably screwed it up by not doing it right, but you know what? It's kind of what you get. So the truth is, I'm going to probably just kind of go to the people I know for BookTube tags. Now, I don't know if these guys like to do tags or if they do them much, but... all right, I'm going to tag two people. I will tag Bryce over at Shelf Centered, and I'm going to tag Nico at Nico's Book Reviews. I'll put their information in the below portion. So, again, thank you, Andrew, and I hope you liked it. If you could, I'd love it for you to like and subscribe, maybe spread the word. I have an Amazon wish list, and I think I got the Discord thing figured out down there, so if you want to be a part of that, I'm just starting it, and so I could use any help or insights from anyone out there who knows anything. Basically, I'm a newbie. And, if you have any book recommendations, I'd love to hear about it too. Or maybe you got some covers that you love and you just want to show them off. I'd like to see that as well. So show me some of the, great book covers and books that you own, that you love, that maybe you picked up on a whim or a recommendation, or it's a special edition that you saved and spent your hard-earned money on. So anyway, I'll see you soon, but I love this stuff, and I hope you do too.